Hello, my friend, and welcome back to the Modern Cave Woman Show. I am so happy you're here today because I have a quick and fun topic related to fitness. So, let me introduce you to my concept of endorphin walks. So, this might sound a little weird, and most fitness experts I know say that walking is one of the best things you can do for your body. Like, we are made to walk. And this is part of my cave woman wisdom as well, that from the beginning of time, people walked, right? So, there's a lot of benefits, obviously. It can strengthen bones and muscles and help your circulation and healing, even just as a start. In fact, everyone I know who's been in the hospital has had to walk and poop before they could go home. Like, those are the two basic measures of well-being. So, when it comes to fitness, though, I've always felt like a failure because big, intense workouts have never worked for me. As much as I've tried, and believe me, I've tried a lot of different kinds of workouts. They always leave me feeling more depleted. I'm just not one of the lucky ones who actually get more energy after an intense workout, if you know what I mean. So I'm more likely to need a 3-day lie down after an intense workout. So that's just how my nervous system is built. And I know I'm not alone in this. So that's what this episode is about. So one day I was just over it and I was tired of feeling bad about myself for not being able to do these super hard workouts like I was seeing other people do. And I just was done. So I gave myself full and complete permission to throw away all the conventional advice and just do what felt good to me. And so I just decided to start walking a little bit, and after a couple minutes, I felt the endorphins kick in. Do you know what I mean? Do you know that feeling of when you're just like out for a walk and all of a sudden you feel good and it's like you can breathe a little easier and you can think a little clearer and it's just kind of nice. And then as I kept going, I started to feel the decline, the kind of like, oh, I'm starting to kind of slog along here. Do you know what I mean? And when I felt that, I just decided to stop. I was like, I have permission. I'm done. It doesn't feel good anymore. Good. And it was really just about 5 minutes. It was like a 5-minute walk. And so at first here's part of it is the mindset around it too. At first I was like, oh, it was only 5 minutes and I felt kind of pathetic. But then I reminded myself, I'm like, no, I had permission to just do it when it felt good and quit when it doesn't. That doesn't say anything fundamentally, wrong with me, right? So, for the rest of the day, though, I felt better. I actually had a better mood and I was able to do things easier somehow. And so, my intention today in sharing this with you is two things. First, and primarily, to remind you that you know what's best for you, especially when it comes to your physical and mental well being. So, no matter what experts or common advice you're getting, if it doesn't work for you, please remember that you know better for you than anybody else does. You are the smartest person you know when it comes to you. Okay. So if that's the only thing you get out of this podcast, please remember that. The second thing is to offer up this little low pressure idea. If you too struggle with physical fitness in any way, or the motivation, or the energy, or whatever goes along with that, to let yourself off the typical 1 hour a day, 3 to 5 days a week workout plan. You know what I'm talking about. We hear it all over the place in media. And instead, nurture your own body on your own terms. Does that make sense? I'd, of course, always encourage you to use your common sense and talk to a qualified health professional for support if and when you need it. And then, if you want to steal my 5-minute endorphin walk idea, I'm happy to share, and I would love to know how you like it. And Honestly, this was all sparked by a commercial I saw advertising a workout machine that totally freaked me out. So you're welcome. And now, if you're like me and have an old false story still kind of playing in the back of your head, because it does, right? We do pick up these stories, and even though logically you can go, okay, I'm on board with this, I can give myself permission to do what feels good for me, regardless of anybody else's expert opinions. But you might still be kind of having that mean voice in the back of your head saying something like, oh, I'm lazy if I don't do it right, and that's why workouts kill me. I just need to try harder. Does that sound familiar? If you're saying anything like that to yourself, stop right now. You are not lazy. It's just some social norm that was constructed by somebody somewhere, who knows when, where, or how. And if it's not right for you, it's just not right for you. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. Okay? So delete those mean thoughts altogether and start gathering evidence for how amazing you are instead. And I'll even share a quick personal story that you might relate to some degree. So in high school, when we were all at our peak, right, we had gym class every day. And one year there was a presidential fitness program or something where we were required to run a mile in under 10 minutes to pass gym class. It was kind of pass or fail. So we started by getting on the track one day and just recording how long it took us to go a mile. I think it was 4 times around the track. And then every day we went back to try to improve it for like 9 weeks. We had plenty of time. It was no big deal, right? And I was already really used to walking 2 miles every day to school. Well, 1 mile there, 1 mile back. Really briskly, I might add, because I always err on the side of being late. So I was walking fast, and I could easily walk that mile on average in 12 minutes. No problem. So me and a couple of my friends in the class decided to help each other get well below that 10-minute mark by running together on the straights and walking the curves on the track. So I don't think I got halfway up that straight while running when all of a sudden I was just shaking and passing out quite literally, like the world went black. And that kind of intense exertion just triggered something in my nervous system in a really negative way. And it had nothing to do with being out of shape, lazy, stupid, none of those things. And long story short, I did speed walk the mile just fine and passed well under 10 minutes. Um, and so that's part of the evidence that I gathered now when I'm looking at, oh no, why can't I do these intense workouts? And I look back on that and I go, you know what? I wasn't out of shape. I wasn't lazy. I was used to walking and things. It was just some kind of normal reaction, normal for me to having some kind of intense situation come up. Does that make sense? So, my positive evidence that I collected, and this is what I would encourage you to try to do for yourself if you're having mean thoughts, and it doesn't even have to be about fitness, it could be about anything. It could be about work or relationships or, general body image or whether you're a good cook or not. I don't care what it is. If you're being mean in the back of your head to yourself, start gathering positive evidence to refute it. So in this case, I was like, okay, I can walk and fast, and I was in good shape. And who knows what happened? Maybe my inner cave woman instinct kicked in and thought I was being chased by a wild boar, so it shut me down. I'm not gonna yell at myself about that, right? Okay, so let me know if you can relate to that in any way in the comments or send me a private message. I would love to hear what you think about this situation, if you can relate to it, or if you're a total opposite, because I do know there are lucky people out there who thrive, like really thrive on very intense physical workouts, right? There's professional athletes and bodybuilders and people who love to run marathons, and they really get energy and positivity and love and thriving for life out of those things. So, if you know people like that, or if you are one of those people, you are so lucky, in my opinion. And I would love to hear your story too, if you've ever encountered challenges in a different way, or maybe how you've overcome something similar in this way because it doesn't exactly fall the same way for you. Okay, so here's the final key principle for us ladies. And I think we all need to learn it deeply and permanently. Like, write it on your soul. You can give yourself permission for anything all the time. In fact, I think you should always give yourself permission for whatever you require. And you know what this is because you know yourself the best. And now I hope you have a fabulous day. We're going to wrap this up. Give yourself permission to do the most loving and best feeling things you possibly can all the time, every day. I love you so much. And I will talk to you again soon. Oh, P.S., in case you're wondering, you can always contact me on my website at thecolleenbean.com. There's a contact page there. Just send me a message. There's a text phone number, so you can actually send me a text if you'd like as well, which I think would be super exciting. I just put that on there, and I'll talk to you again soon. Have a beautiful day.